Everyone, look what I got. It's the Starlink Mini, just came in the mail. I'm so excited to open this and get it set up and see how it works. What I was using before I got the Starlink is this little Verizon device. It's called a Verizon MiFi Jetpack. And for the most part, it worked really well, but it only worked in areas that I had cell phone service. So if I was somewhere with no cell phone service, obviously I couldn't get internet. If I was someone with weak cell phone service, then I didn't have very good internet. Having internet is super important to me because I obviously work on the road. When I don't have internet, that limits the amount of places that I can go and stay. And that's the whole point of this lifestyle, right? Is to go places, to go off grid. And if I can't get to those places, I'm like, what's the point of even living in a van and trying to adventure and explore? So it was really important for me to upgrade, even though it was really expensive. I could have gone with the Starlink Standard, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't. It was really tempting because the Starlink Standard, as some of you guys might know, just officially dropped its price to like $350, which is about half the price of this setup. This totaled with taxes and everything to be almost $700 with the plan as well. I think it retails for like $599, so with taxes, shipping, and the plan, the total came out to be almost $700 for the Mini. Hopefully it's worth it. We'll see after we unbox it. But again, the standard, while the price was tempting, $350 was a lot cheaper. There were some cons with it, and I did a lot of research, but the biggest ones was one, the size, obviously. The standard is, I think, almost double the size of the Mini, and so anytime you live in a small space like this, size and storage is so important. So if I can find something that takes up less space, that's the better option. But power consumption was the main thing. So Starlink Standard, when I did the calculations with my 500 amp hour electrical system, would last, if I had it plugged in 24 hours a day, let's say, and I wasn't using any other electrical devices in my van. So I didn't have my lights on, I wasn't charging any devices, I didn't have my fridge plugged in. If it was just the Starlink Standard for 24 hours a day, it would drain my power, or totally drain my batteries in about 3 to, I think, 5 days was the max. So that means that if I was parked somewhere where I couldn't plug my van in, I don't have solar yet, and I didn't want to drive anywhere, then I could only be there for like 3 to 5 days max. And there's times when I want to be somewhere for a couple of weeks. I don't want to rush around. Maybe I'm not driving. Mini, on the other hand, if I had it plugged in without using any other devices, would last me a minimum of 5 days, a maximum of 10 days. That's a huge difference. That's like double the amount of time. And any time that I can stay somewhere longer without having to recharge my batteries is amazing. It really just increases the amount of time I can stay off grid and in some of these beautiful landscapes that, don't have cell service and don't even have campgrounds to plug into. So that was a huge draw for me, just, not consuming as much power in the van. Once I get solar panels, it won't be as big of a deal, but I don't know when I'm going to get those. For now, my electrical setup works pretty good without them, so it could be a while. And until then, I want to be able to be off grid for as long as possible. That's why I went with the Mini. It's pretty small. I'm excited to open it up, get it set up, see how easy it is, and test it out. So let's do it. Ready? Let's see. Wow, it's so small. So this is the actual modem and the dish itself. So unlike the standard, it's all combined into one. The standard has this dish and then a separate modem attached. Another plus about the Mini is that it's all in one. I don't have to store 2 separate pieces of equipment. It's so tiny. I think it's smaller than my laptop. It's super thin, and it just has this little kickstand here you can set up. Probably just how I'm going to put it on my roof. What else is in this box? Got your connecting cable to plug it in with. Looks like your AC power adapter and some other kind of stand that I don't think I'll be needing, so I'll probably just be using this built-in kickstand. And it looks like the instructions are actually right on the box here. All you do is basically plug it in and download the app, which I still need to do. There's a QR code right there. And then get it configured and set up. We need our cord and our adapter. So cord. Here's your cord. It's really long, which is nice. It looks like the ends are exactly the same, so you don't have to worry about what you're plugging into what. One end is just going to go in here. See, right under that kickstand. Plug it in. Got it. The next end going to go inside the adapter. And now we just have to download the Starlink app, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to go do that and be right back. The app is installed, so now I'm going to put Starlink up on the roof. It is plugged in to the AC outlets by my bed, and we're going to put it up on the roof and get going. The app is installed. Starlink is plugged in, so we're going to put it up on the roof and then get it all hooked up. Okay. Now let's take a look at that. Okay, so first it's just asking us to select the equipment. We choose a Mini, and now we'll position it to find a clear location of the sky. And now it's asking me to scan the sky, so I'm just going to point my camera up and scan everything around me. Almost there. Let's view the results. It's estimating the obstructions. So pretty good. Again, like I'm in one of the most ideal spots that you could get. It says that I'll have no obstructions for streaming videos, web browsing, video calls, maybe some obstructions for online gaming. I'm not doing any of that, so we are good to go. We're going to connect to the Wi-Fi, which is Starlink. Find it on my list of Wi-Fis. There it is. It's already showing up. And it looks like we are officially online. Okay, so let's take a look at the statistics. Ping success is about 29.5, which is actually pretty terrible, but that's probably because it has just started up and needs a few more minutes. Ping success measures the percentage of successful ping requests sent from your device to a server and back. It's similar to how like a phone pings off a cell tower. So a good rate would be around like 98 to 100%. So we're just going to hope that rate comes up soon. The latency is 34 milliseconds, which is actually pretty decent. Latency is the time it takes for data to travel from the Starlink to a server and then back. A good rate is like 20 to 50 milliseconds, so we are right in that range. Now, throughput is basically just internet speed. It's the actual amount of data being transmitted from the internet to the device. So let's do the speed test. Okay. And final is 42 Mbps, which is decent. Not amazing, but definitely sufficient. It's easily enough to do any like basic browsing or HD streaming. And the power draw is currently at 23 watts, which is great. Starlink claims that the average power consumption of the Mini is between 20 and 40 watts. So we're at the lower end, which is exactly why I chose the Mini, because the standard average power draw is between 70 to 50, so the Mini is well below that. That was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I was online with full internet in under 5 minutes. I think this is going to be a game changer for me when working on the road, and I'm so happy that I got the Mini. Obviously, where I'm at here on the farm is like a perfect area because there are no obstructions. So I am interested to see how easy it is to get online when I'm somewhere with a few more trees. But I will definitely be posting an update in a couple weeks on how it performs once I'm actually back on the road again. So stay tuned for that, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.